So dear students, today we are going to draft an affidavit in support of plaint for specific performance of the contract. And all of you know that affidavits are to be drafted after reading the rules contained in Order 19 of CPC. First of all, we must know what is affidavit and where affidavit is to be prepared, who are the persons authorized to make affidavits. So dear students, affidavit means a written statement or a declaration made on oath by the maker of it, who is called as deponent and whose signatures are required to be attested by authorized authority. Normally, an advocate is competent to attest the signature of the deponent, but an advocate who represents the party or in whose favor wakalatnama has been signed, normally such an advocate should not attest the signatures of the parties. So an advocate should not attest the signature of his own client, but in practice I have seen all advocates are attesting the signature of their own clients. Now, who is authorized to sworn an affidavit? Dear students, you must know that notaries are appointed by the state government and oath commissioners are appointed by the district judges for the purposes of preparing affidavits. When I was posted as district judge, every year we used to prepare a list of advocate commissioners. So notaries as well as oath commissioners are authorized to sworn affidavits in their respective districts. Orders 19 of CPC contains the provisions relating to affidavits, and any court may at any time, for sufficient reasons, order that any particular fact or facts may be proved by affidavit, or that affidavit of any witness may be read in evidence. As you know, CPC has been amended and examination in chief of each and every witness has to be done by means of an affidavit. And the latest amendment of CPC is that an affidavit is required to be filed along with the plaint. The contents of affidavit may be almost similar to those covered by the plaint. And dear students, you must take care that affidavits must be drafted in first person in grammatical sense. According to Order 19, Rule 3 CPC, an affidavit shall be confined to such facts as the deponent is able to prove by his own knowledge. But if affidavit is filed in support of any interlocutory application, then the affidavit can contain the facts based upon information received by him and believed to be true by the deponent. The source of information should also be disclosed. Otherwise, such affidavit is not admissible in evidence. Order 19, Rule 2 of CPC provides that evidence may be given on affidavit, but the court may, at the instance of other party, order the attendance of the deponent for cross-examination. Dear students, you must know the difference between solemn affirmation and affidavit. And the difference is that solemn affirmation, the applicant is solemnly affirm that the statement made in the petition are true to his own knowledge. Whereas in affidavit, it may be sworn by any person who is acquainted with the facts of the case. So this is the distinction. And there is a distinction between affidavit and deposition also. Affidavit is different from deposition. An affidavit is prepared ex parte. When you are sitting in your corporate office, you can prepare affidavit out of the court. It does not require any cross-examination. While deposition of a witness is evidence or statement given on oath in the witness box inside the courtroom, and that deposition is subject to cross-examination also. But in affidavit, there is no cross-examination. But court has discretion to call upon the deponent for his cross-examination also. So affidavit should be properly verified and sworn. Otherwise, it is not admissible in evidence. And as you know, giving false evidence is a punishable offense under section 199 and 200 of CPC. So you should be very, very careful while drafting an affidavit on behalf of your client. Now, in brief, we will discuss what are the essentials of an affidavit before we start the actual drafting of this affidavit. First of all, you will write down the name of the court or the title of the authority before whom you are going to swear an affidavit. For example, in the Court of Civil Judge Senior Division, Noida, District Gautam Buddha Nagar, you are going to file an affidavit. Or suppose you are giving this affidavit to the director, Gemtech School of Law, Noida. Then you will have to write down before the director, Gemtech School of Law, Noida. Then you will write down the suit number if you are filing your affidavit before a court of law in a civil court or a criminal court. Then you will write down the suit number in which affidavit is to be filed, or write down in the matter of so and so. Then number 2, you will write down name with alias if any, age, parentage, profession, address and full description of the deponent. The person who is giving affidavit, his complete name, age, parentage, profession, address and full description is to be mentioned on the first page of the affidavit. Then comes the heading. Heading is affidavit of plaintiff or counter affidavit of defendant or rejoinder affidavit of so and so. Whosoever is giving affidavit, it will come in the heading, whether it is affidavit of plaintiff or affidavit of defendant. You will have to mention in the heading. Then comes oath or affirmation. Language of affidavit will begin like this: I, the deponent name above named, do hereby swear or solemnly affirm as follows. Then comes the recitals, main paragraphs of the affidavit. First of all, A, you will write down the capacity of the deponent in which he swears or affirms. For example, his capacity is plaintiff or a defendant or a witness. Then you will write down that plaintiff, that the deponent is a plaintiff in this case, and as such, plaintiff is acquainted with all the facts and circumstances of the case. Or if you are filing an affidavit of witness, then he will write that I am the witness to the agreement dated 1/1/2017, and as such, the deponent is well acquainted with the facts and circumstances of the case. Then second part of the recitals will be facts to be written in narrative sequence, and all these facts will be mentioned in separate paragraphs, and these paragraphs are to be numbered consecutively 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Then comes verification clause. After all the paragraphs of the facts, it is a turn of verification by the deponent. After verification, the deponent is supposed to write down the place and date of verification also. Then 7th point, identification of deponent is also required. Every deponent has to be identified by some advocate. Then certificate of verification to be given by the person before whom an affidavit is. This affidavit shall be given either by notary or by oath commissioner or by magistrate, whosoever is going to sworn the affidavit, he will give a certificate that deponent has verified such and such deponent who was identified by such and such advocate has verified this affidavit before me. Now we come to the actual drafting of the affidavit in support of a plaint of specific performance of the contract. And the key of learning this drafting of affidavit, dear students, is that you will have to replace the word deponent in place of plaintiff. In the plaint, wherever the word plaintiff was used, now you will use the word deponent in place of plaintiff. And this affidavit is to be signed on a stamp paper of ₹10 only. 10 rupees stamp paper is required for preparation of an affidavit. Now we are going to draft the actual affidavit. We have in the background the knowledge relating to the Order 19 and the various provisions. Now we will start the actual drafting the affidavit. So the name of the court will remain same where the case was pending. Our case for specific performance of the contract for sale of a flat for 1 crore rupees was pending in the Court of Civil Justice Senior Division, Noida, District Gautam Buddha Nagar, UP. Then you will write down case number -- of 2017 because yet the case number is not allotted to you because you are preparing this affidavit of plaintiff in support of a plaint on the day one when the suit is to be filed in the court. So you do not know the case number. That's why it is mentioned case number -- of 2017. Now name parties are same because the case number is same, suit is same, the affidavit is being prepared in support of the plaint, so you have no right to change the name parties. So A, son of B was our plaintiff. Now we will write his designation as plaintiff / deponent because plaintiff himself is deponent versus opposite party is again same X, son of Y. He is our defendant. All right. Now the center heading is affidavit of plaintiff. Now it is to begin like this, that I, A, son of B, aged about 50 years, deponent, do hereby take oath and solemnly affirm as under. This is the opening salutation line to be written for drafting of affidavit. Now comes para 1. You will see that this para 1 corresponds to
normal call.
the plaint. Para 1 of the plaint and para 1 of the affidavit is the same, except that word plaintiff is replaced by the word deponent. I'm reading paragraph 1 before you. That the defendant X agreed to sell his 3 BHK flat number 906 Designers Park, Sector 62 Noida, measuring 2000 square feet, more specifically described in the schedule at the foot of this plaint. At the foot of this affidavit now, with deponent for a sum of ₹1 crore only on 1/1/2017, and remaining part is same copy pasted from paragraph 1 of the plaint. That said agreement was duly registered in the office of sub registrar on 1/1/2017 itself, which is entered in register number 1 at pages 289 to 296. Para 2. Again, you will see that only word deponent, which I have underlined here, is replaced with the word plaintiff. Para 2. That the defendant had received a sum of ₹10 lakh. See, the story is same. I told you in the beginning that with the help of this story of sale of a flat between builder and purchaser and Noida Authority, I will teach you more than half of the syllabus of your drafting and pleading. So para 2 is again same, facts are the same. The defendant had received a sum of rupees 10 lakh only as advance money by check number so and so, dated 1/1/2017 of SBI, Sector 16, Noida. The balance money of rupees 90 lakh only was to be paid at the time of registration of the sale deed in the office of Sub-Registrar, Noida. The said check was debited from the account of deponent on 12th January 2017 and was credited in the account of defendant. So the entire language is same except with the word deponent, which has been replaced in lieu of plaintiff. Now let's see para 3. Para 3 is same, that sale deed was to be executed within 6 months from the date of agreement, that is up to 30th June 2017. Now you see the paragraphs of the plaint and paragraphs of this affidavit, they are quite similar. Para 4 is that the deponent went to the residence of defendant on second Sunday in the month of April 2017. Plaint में आपने लिखा था that the plaintiff went to the residence of defendant on second Sunday in the month of April 2017 and requested him that he is ready with the sum of rupees 90 lakhs only and requested him to execute the sale deed on next day. But the defendant told him that he will be out of station on that day in connection with his appointment with his doctor. Same story, same language. Then comes para number 5. That it was also agreed that if deponent will not be ready to get the sale deed executed in time after payment of balance money, he will forfeit his earnest money. But if the builder fails to execute the sale deed in time agreed in the agreement, he will return double the amount, that is 20 lakh rupees, to the deponent. Para 5 is same. सिर्फ प्लेंटिफ की जगह आपने वर्ड डेपोनेंट लिख देना है, that's all. Para 6 again the same process, you replace the word plaintiff with deponent. Para 6, I have underlined the word deponent intentionally for you in each and every paragraph just to indicate you that drafting of plaint and drafting of affidavit is substantially the same. So para 6, that thereafter the deponent requested the defendant to execute the sale deed in his favor on mobile phone so many times, but he paid no heed to the requests of the plaintiff. The deponent sent 3 emails to the defendant requesting him to execute the sale deed in his favor, but he kept on giving false promises. You know, generally the builders are in habit of avoiding the execution of sale deed. Para 7. So when builder is not executing the sale deed, month of June has come, I am worried. I have sent a notice to the builder on 5th June 2017 as plaintiff. Now my role is different. My role is that of a deponent now. When we drafted the plaint, then my role was as plaintiff. Today I am plaintiff as well as deponent. So I am writing para 7. That the deponent sent a notice dated 5th June 2017 to the defendant by registered AD post through his counsel and requested him to come to the office of Sub-Registrar Noida on 20th June 2017 for execution of sale deed on 20th June 2017. And the deponent remained in the office of Sub-Registrar Noida on 20th June from morning till evening, but the defendant failed to appear. The deponent got his attendance marked in the office of Sub-Registrar Noida at 10 a.m. and at 5 p.m. on 20th June 2017. So the entire paragraph is same. Story is same. I gave a notice that builder should come to the office of Sub-Registrar on 20th June, but he failed to appear, and the plaintiff / deponent remained present there from 10 a.m. 5 p.m. on the date 20th June. Then 20th June has also expired. Builder is not executing the sale deed. Now deponent will give him another notice on 21st June, next day. So para 8, that the deponent again sent a notice dated 21st June 2017 to the defendant by registered AD post through his counsel and requested him to come to the office of Sub-Registrar Noida on 30th June. 30th June is the last date for execution of sale deed. So the deponent remained present in the office of Sub-Registrar Noida on 30th June from morning till evening, but defendant did not turn up. The deponent got his attendance marked in the office of Sub-Registrar Noida at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Both the times he got his attendance marked there. Then you see the builder never appeared on that date also. Now a final notice is being given to the defendant before filing a suit. Para 9. That before filing this suit, deponent again sent a notice dated 1st July 2017 to the defendant by registered AD post requesting him to execute sale deed in his favor on 10th July. एक मौका और दिया आपने, failing which a suit for specific performance will be filed against him at his risk, cost and responsibility. And this notice was duly received by him on 4th July 2017, but he failed to reply and refused to execute the sale deed in favor of the deponent unless an additional amount of 25 lakh rupees only was paid to him. See, the builder is demanding now 25 lakh rupees extra, whereas our original agreement dated 1/1/2017 was for rupees 1 crore only. Now this para 10 is compulsory to write down that the deponent is ready and willing to perform his part of the contract and is ready to pay balance amount of money to the defendant or is ready to deposit the same in the court. Dear students, there has been an amendment in the law in the Specific Relief Act, and now this para 10 is not necessary to be written there. But I advise you to impress upon the court that you are willing and ready to perform your part of the contract. This para 10 should be drafted by you. 11. Now up to paragraph 10, factual paragraphs. Now legal paragraphs, CVLJ. C for cause of action, V for valuation, L for limitation, and J for jurisdiction. Para 11. That the cause of action for the suit arose on 20th June, 30th June and 10th July. 3 बार आपने मौका दिया था बिल्डर को कि वो आए और अपनी सेल डीड एग्जीक्यूट करें. So he failed to appear on all the 3 dates in the office of Sub-Registrar Noida, which is situated in sector 33, Noida. So the cause of action for the suit arose on 20th June, 30th June and 10th July when the defendant failed and refused to execute the sale deed in favor of the deponent. Now para 12. Jurisdiction. That the suit is well within jurisdiction of this honorable court since the agreement was entered into at Noida and property to be sold is also situated at Noida. Now valuation. Para 13. That the valuation of the suit is rupees 1 crore for the purposes of jurisdiction and payment of court fee, and proper ad valorem court fee has been paid by the deponent. Now limitation. That the suit is filed well within limitation period. Now prayer clause. 15. The deponent therefore prays. वहां plaint में आपने लिखा था the plaintiff therefore prays. Now you are writing that deponent therefore prays that number 1, suit for specific performance of the contract dated 1/1/2017 may kindly be decreed in favor of deponent as against the defendant with cost, and defendant may kindly be directed to execute the sale deed in favor of the deponent, failing which honorable court may be pleased to execute the sale deed executed in favor of deponent. And second relief is alternatively, it is prayed that if in the opinion of this honorable court, relief of specific performance cannot be given to the deponent, the defendant may kindly be directed to refund double the amount of earnest money, that is 20 lakh rupees, along with 18% interest from 1/1/2017 till the date of payment, on which proper court fees will be paid at the time of execution. And third, any other relief which this honorable court deems fit in the circumstances of the case may kindly be granted to the deponent. Now, dear students, the schedule of property is also to be written in the affidavit. This you will copy paste from the plaint. Schedule of property is all that property, flat 3 BHK, area 2000 square feet, bearing number 906, situated at 9th floor, Designers Park, Sector 62, Noida, District Gautam Buddha Nagar, UP, bounded and butted as it is the same as you had mentioned in the plaint. नॉर्थ साइड में उस फ्लैट के क्या है, साउथ में क्या है, वेस्ट में क्या है, ईस्ट में क्या है, व्हाट इज ऑन द टॉप साइड, व्हाट इज ऑन द डाउन साइड, all detail of property as you mentioned in the plaint has to be mentioned in the affidavit also. Now comes the verification clause. Verification is to be done like this, that I, the deponent above named, do hereby take oath and solemnly affirm that the contents of this affidavit from para 1 to 10 are true to my personal knowledge. These are the factual paragraphs. And contents of paragraph 11 to 15 are legal. Legal paragraphs from legal advice received, which all I believe to be true. So help me God. So take oath and solemnly affirm and help me God are the additional words which are to be mentioned in the affidavit. Now, the signatures of deponent are required. So, at the end of the affidavit, signature of a deponent are required. Now, where you have verified this affidavit? This is verified at Court Compound, Noida on this first day of August 2017. Now, dear students, this deponent is to be identified by some advocate. So you will write down identified by ABC advocate. ABC advocate will also put his signatures on this affidavit in the presence of deponent, and deponent will sign this affidavit. Now the affidavit is ready in your corporate office. You have drafted it. You have taken out the printout also. Now you will go to the office of Notary Public. He will write down sworn before me, and notary will put his notarial stamp or seal, and then he will sign it. The affidavit may be prepared in the presence of Notary Public appointed by the government, or in the presence of Fourth Commissioner appointed by the district judge of the concerned district. Where it was done, where this affidavit was sworn, at Court Compound, Noida on 1st August 2017. Now you will note, dear students, when this affidavit is ready, then entry of this affidavit will be made in the register of Notary Public or Oath Commissioner. And the deponent is also required to sign in the register of Notary Public or Oath Commissioner. So this is how, dear students, we have drafted an affidavit in support of plaint of specific performance of the contract, wherein plaintiff is equivalent to deponent and plaint is equivalent to affidavit. You learn one and get one free. Like you go to the market, you go to the shopping mall, you purchase certain garments, you purchase one trouser and another trouser you get free. Likewise here also, if you have learned the drafting of plaint, I am giving you one free drafting of affidavit with the change that you will replace the word deponent with the plaintiff, and you will see that plaint, in support of that plaint, and affidavit is ready with it. And dear students, you must also be very, very careful about the distinction between court fees, stamp paper. Because stamp paper is of two categories. One is judicial stamp paper, that is court fee. And second is non-judicial stamp paper, which is available at the court compound issued from treasury of the district. So court fees is to be paid when you are filing a fresh suit for judicial purposes. And for non-judicial purposes, you will use non-judicial stamp paper. Is that clear? So this is how, dear students, we can, and we have learned the drafting of affidavit according to Order 19 of CPC.